stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. God, it's so much easier to share. I remember when this was even less than a year ago that, I go live and then I'd have to tell several people that I'm live. And then stuff, all sorts of things. Okay. Apparently, Podbean is putting ads. Oh no, I'm about to find out. They better not be putting fucking ads in my stuff. Oh, and not paying me? Oh shit. Oh, Lucy, we got a problem, Lucy. If they're making money off of what I'm doing, oh man, all right. Anyway, we're gonna forego that for now. Because somebody just asked me, they're like, 2 questions. Is the 4:00 meeting every day? And can I edit ads out of MP3? Oh, edit ads. Oh, he's not asking. He's asking if he can make an advertisement out of the MP3. Yes, you can if you want. Sorry, understood the question. All right. Okay, that's different because they're not allowed to put ads in there without my permission. Number one, and number two, where my money? Where my money, motherfuckers? Oh, yeah. All right. Hello, Leisure. Hello, Claire Joyce. Good to see you both. We're going to be talking about Tradition 3 today. Who gets to be a member of AA? All right. It's kind of weird because everybody in AA really didn't want to be in AA. Then there's some people who are in AA who are not really alcoholic, but act like alcoholics so they have a place to go. When it comes down to it, AA is the grandpappy of the 12 steps. Everything's kind of based off of what we do. But then again, we stole it from Oxford Group, Washingtonians, a couple of different places, right? So it's not like we have laid claim to the 12 steps. We haven't done that now. So got everything set up for our in-person meeting, our hybrid meeting next week. Sound was good. Internet was good. I think we're going to probably be able to use their coffee pots. So just putting together the last couple of things. Did I say hi, Amber? If not, then hello, Pulpit. Tradition 3. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking. That's simple. Well, of course, we're alcoholics, so we need 7 pages of description. I'm not going to do all 7 pages, though. Well, I might. You never know. As long as I get done by 4:30. All right. This tradition is packed with meaning, where AA is really saying to every serious drinker, you are an AA member if you say so. You can declare yourself in, nobody can keep you out. No matter who you are, no matter how low you've gone, no matter how grave your emotional complications, even your crimes, we still cannot deny you AA. We don't want to keep you out. And that's the difference between us. We don't want to keep those people out. We believe that people can change. I believe that people can change. And I believe that because otherwise I'm full of shit. And I just don't think that I am anymore. I was full of shit before. Now I'm not. I was an addict. Now I'm not. A little bit of PAX there for you. Malibu Treatment Center. For any of those that don't really listen to American TV. We aren't a bit afraid you'll harm us. Never mind how twisted or violent you may be. We just want to be sure you get the same great chance for sobriety that we've had. So you're an AA member the minute you declare yourself. And how do you declare yourself? My name is Dion, and I'm an alcoholic. Yeah. And AA helps a lot of different types of people. Everybody from the sober curious to the chronic alcoholic. Right? There's a lot of people that go through the 12 steps and attend AA meetings. They may not be alcoholic, but they got a DUI. So what does AA become for them? Well, it becomes a prevention measure. It teaches them that maybe the amount of alcohol they're consuming is not healthy and they can go back to having one drink. They need something else, right? Yeah. Do we help those people? Yes, we do. Sure we do. Why? Because the whole point of the big book is about finding a higher power. So absolutely we will. You may not understand all of our jokes. To establish this principle of membership took years of harrowing experience. In our early time, nothing seemed so fragile, so easily breakable as an AA group. Hardly an alcoholic we approached paid any attention. Most of those who did join us were like flickering candles in the windstorm. Time after time, their uncertain flames blew out and couldn't be relighted. Our unspoken constant thought was, which one of us may be next? Huh? You go to treatment? You go to treatment, meet a bunch of people. You know, maybe you had litter mates, people, and these are people that got sober about the same time as you did, or you went through treatment together, or maybe you met an IOP or one of those crazy AA classes. And they all start relapsing. And it makes you wonder, well, am I going to be next? Am I going to be next? A member gives a very vivid glimpse of those days. At one time, he says, every AA group had membership rules. Everyone was scared witless that something or somebody would capsize the boat, dump us all back into the drink. Our foundation office asked each group to send in its list of protective regulations. The total list was a mile long. If all those rules had been in effect everywhere, nobody could have possibly joined AA at all. So great was the sum of our anxiety and fear. I could understand their fear. I understand it today. I still have, at this point, I still kind of have a fear that somebody's going to do something and AA is just going to capsize and be gone. I don't know that'll really happen, though. There's too many of us. You know, this was back when there was, 100, 200, 400, 4,000 even. Now we're 2 million strong. So it'd be pretty tough for it to actually happen. I mean, someone would have to go out of their way, like really out of their way, and have a lot of money to be able to do it. So I don't see AA going anywhere anytime soon. Right. But I certainly enjoy a quality of AA meetings. Certainly I do. Yeah. All right. We will resolve to admit nobody to AA, but that hypothetical class of people we term pure alcoholics, except for their guzzling and unfortunate results thereof. They could have no other complications. So if you would have went into an AA room back in 30s and Said, my name's Dion. I'm an alcoholic and an addict. Out you go. Out you go. Right? So beggars, tramps, asylum inmates, prisoners, queers, plain crackpots, and fallen women were definitely out. Right? So maybe you also have a mental illness. No, you can't come in. Most of us would not have been allowed in. Good thing it changed, right? Yes, sir. We'd cater only to pure and respectable alcoholics. That means alcohol is your only misfortune in life. It's your only. Oh, gee, we wouldn't be 2 million strong if we still followed that rule. We wouldn't. No, we'd still be in the 100,000s. Besides, if we took in those odd ones, what would decent people say about us? What decent people? Where are these decent people at? I don't know what you're talking about. We built a fine mesh fence around AA. Maybe this sounds comical now. It doesn't sound comical to me. It sounds like fear. A legitimate fear, but still unwarranted. Still unwarranted. Maybe you think old timers were pretty intolerant, but I can tell you there was nothing funny about the situation then. We were grim because we felt our lives and homes were threatened, and that was no laughing matter. Intolerant, you say? Well, we were frightened. Naturally, we began to act like most everybody else does when they're afraid. After all, isn't fear the true basis of intolerance? Yes, we were intolerant. I didn't understand it though. I get very protective of AA. Why? Because it is my home. It is there that I find relief. I tried everywhere else in the fucking world. I tried everything in the world to be whatever everybody else wanted me to frickin' be. And I never fit in anywhere until I made it to AA. So if AA went away, where am I going to fit in now? The loneliness will come back. The drinking will come back. The abuse will come back. I don't want that. So yeah, I'm very protective of AA. Probably a little too much. I have to admit, I'm one of those people. I do not tolerate certain bullshit. Okay, but there's a way to go about it, right? So, but I can understand why they were intolerant. You know, I've had some intolerances lately that we kind of talked about. We talked about rock bottom yesterday. Everybody, well, maybe the day before, right? And then I'm not a big fan on rock bottom, but everybody gave me enough descriptions for me to realize that my perception of rock bottom was different. And that's what the problem was. And I was being intolerant. All right. How could we then guess that all those fears were to prove groundless? How could we know that thousands of these sometimes frightening people were to make astonishing recoveries and become our greatest workers and intimate friends? Was it credible that AA was to have a divorce rate far lower than average? Could we then foresee that the troublesome people were to become our principal teachers of patience and tolerance? Could any then imagine a society which would include every conceivable kind of character and cut across every barrier of race, creed, politics, and language with ease? Pretty cool, huh? All right. Leisure says, what if you have intolerance against yourself? You're an alcoholic. Of course you have intolerance for yourself. Leisure, you're funny, man. So why did AA finally drop all of its membership regulations? Why did we leave it to each newcomer to decide himself whether he was an alcoholic and whether he should join us? Why did we dare say, contrary to the experience of society and government everywhere, that we would neither punish nor deprive any of AA membership, that we must never compel anyone to pay anything, believe in anything, or conform to anything? All right. Number one, because alcoholics we will not go for you telling us what to do. That's the number one reason. We cannot be intolerant. Okay. Not only that, but alcoholism and addiction, any kind of addiction, the only true diagnosis is a self-diagnosis. Not just kind of struggling, actually. It's a good read. Okay. I apologize, Leisure. I didn't mean to be, I should have considered that. So I'm sorry you're kind of going through something, Leisure. Right? We don't tell you what kind of higher power, life or death for me. YouTube screened me. They screened you again. Jesus. All right. You don't have to pay anything. You already paid your dues. You already paid your dues before you got here. All right. It's one of the things of alcoholism. You know. But we can't tell people what to do. And that self-diagnosis has power in it. It has power. It is a choice. Right? And when your intentions change, so does your life. Yep. Well, however you act is what you're going to bring into your life. And if you're being negative and drink and hang out with other alcoholics, then what you will do is you will attract those same people. If you're a recovered alcoholic, you'll be amazed. You will be amazed how many people come into your life that are the same. It's an attraction. Yeah, why can't you say the D word? What that try unalive next time and I bet it goes through. You know, the reason I set all this up and did it this way and made it unsafe for children was so that we could have the right to talk the way that we want to talk. So, maybe at some point, Amber, if you have a chance, ask Google if there's a list of words that YouTube will not let you post. Let's find out. Is there a list of words that YouTube will not allow? What are YouTube blocked words? You can add the list of words, phrases that you don't want to show in your comments. That'll get you shadow banned. Hate speech, violence, fear, misleading information, content intended for children but not suitable, excessive use of the word family, violent extremists, or explicit contact. I don't know. I don't know. None of that's being done. All right. The answer now seen in tradition 3 was simplicity itself. At last, experience taught us that to take away any alcoholic's full chance was sometimes to pronounce his death sentence and often to condemn him to an endless misery. Who dared be judge, jury, and executioner of his own brother? We don't play God anymore, man. You know? So, I don't. The other thing is, I don't really have much room to judge considering everything that I've done in my life. Now that I've been forgiven by God, I get to judge other people. No, I don't think that was the deal. I don't think that was the deal. this morning I was talking to Christine, a friend of mine, and her niece told her that this person went over to they went over to Walk-In Crisis, Comitas Crisis Center. He was denied help, and they should have sent him to detox. And so he went to the park and he killed himself. Those people were being judge, jury, and executioner. Now that person's dead. These are the things that I'm going to need to confront next week in a meeting, because I'm getting together with Aurora Mental Health. They're going to figure out where Dion belongs. They're going to start paying me. From my understanding, we'll see what happens. You know, still at this point, it's still a what if. Maybe we'll see. But I'll be asking that question. Why was so-and-so turned away? Why did you turn them away? Why did you not put them in detox? Because they may not even know that he went and committed suicide. And he fucking asked for help, man. All right. So just like AA, we have got to find a reason to say yes. We have got to find a reason to say yes. Or otherwise we're judge, jury, and executioner. That's why it's open to everybody. Or otherwise that shit's going to be on your conscience. I don't want that on my conscience. Absolutely not. As group after group saw these possibilities, they finally abandoned all membership regulations. One dramatic experience after another clinched this determination until it became our universal tradition. Here are two examples. A newcomer appeared at one of these groups, knocked on the door, and asked to be let in. He talked frankly with the old group's oldest member. He soon proved that he was a pretty desperate case. And above all, he wanted to get well. But he asked, "Will you let me join your group? Since I am the victim of another addiction, even worse stigmatized than alcoholism, you may not want me among you. Or will you?" Okay. Probably drug use, because it is more stigmatized than alcohol. That I will go with. Yeah, it is very much. There was the dilemma. What should the group do? The oldest member summoned two other members and in confidence laid the explosive facts in their laps. Now, today, that would not be an explosive fact, would it? No, it's just common. Now it's common. So see how far we've come with a lot of things, right? Well, what about it? If we turn this man away, he'll soon die. If we allow him in, only God knows what trouble he'll brew. What shall the answer be, yes or no? What an uncomfortable fucking conversation. But they come to the right answer. They do come to the right answer. So thank God these three people sat down and had a good conversation about it, right? At first, the elders could only look at the objections. We deal, they said, with alcoholics only. Oh, he is alcoholic, though. Shouldn't we sacrifice this one for the sake of the many? That line right there is probably one of the most ignorant fucking things I've heard in a while, just so you know. Who am I to decide? Who am I? Even these three people, they didn't really have nowadays, this would not be a conversation that should be had. And if it is, then you're a conceited fuck. Then you think you own the room. You're still an AA member, though. So went the discussion while the newcomer's fate hung in the balance. Then one of the three spoke in a very different voice. What are we really afraid of, he said, is our reputation. Here we are at reputation again. And it's made its way back. Everybody wants those likes, those loves. We all want to be helping people while being pretty doing it. For God's sakes, recovery coaches, put on a damn shirt. Hi, Angel. Good to see you. All right. So it's our reputation. We're much more afraid of what people might say than the trouble this strange alcoholic might bring. As we have been talking, 5 short words have been running through my mind. Something keeps repeating me. What would the master do? Not another word was said. What more indeed could be said? Right. And I would probably rephrase this a little bit because what would the master do? Feels a little Catholic to me. But where's God in all of that? Well, what does God want? What does God want? That's still, it's 4 words, so it doesn't say 5, but it was 5. So. All right. What does God want? Huh? I'll just put a huh in there. Overjoyed, the newcomer plunged into 12-step work tirelessly. He laid his AA message before scores of people. Since this was a very early group, those scores have since multiplied themselves into thousands. Never did he trouble anyone with his other difficulty. AA had taken his first step in the formation of Tradition 3. Not long, here comes Ed. Oh man, and Ed's a guy. We'll get into it. Not long after the man with the double stigma knocked for admission, AA's other groups received into its membership a salesman we should call Ed, the power driver, this one, and brash as any salesman could possibly be. He had at least an idea a minute on how to improve AA. We get those. We still get those. It's like you come in and you're like, well, maybe we should blah, blah, blah. And you think it hasn't been brought up before. Don't you think there was a reason that here's the thing. There's no such thing as an original idea anymore. They're all gone, man. An original thought. They're gone. They don't exist anymore. Somewhere in the world before you or living now had the same thought already. Okay, so it's not original. Thinking that you can come in and change AA. Right? People that do that usually end up starting their own meetings out of spite. Okay, we are to start new meetings out of need, not spite. Right? These ideas he sold to fellow members with the same burning enthusiasm which he distributed automobile polish, but he had one idea that wasn't so sellable. Ed was an atheist. Oh no, Ed's an atheist. See, now we go through this a lot now already, but Ed took it a little bit further. His pet obsession was AA could get along better without its God nonsense. He browbeat everybody, and everybody expected that he'd soon get drunk. For at the time, you see, AA was on the pious side. There must be a heavy penalty, it was thought, for blasphemy. Distressingly enough, Ed proceeded to stay sober. I love that part. Distressingly enough, Ed stayed sober. I'm going to tell you something. There are a lot of people that irritate me or even piss me off in the program, but I do not wish for them to get drunk. Hell no. No. No, I do not wish that. All right. At length, the time came for him to speak in a meeting. We shivered, for we knew what was coming. He paid a fine tribute to the fellowship. He told how his family had been reunited. He extolled the virtue of honesty. He recalled the joys of 12-step work. And then he lowered the boom. Cried Ed. Can't stand this God stuff. It's a lot of malarkey for weak folks. This group doesn't need it, and I won't have it. To hell with it. Screw the fact that he gave a fine tribute. Everybody's just concerned about him not conforming to what they want. Right? Amber says, I wouldn't even wish that on my mother. You're funny. A great wave of outraged resentment engulfed the meeting, sweeping every member to a single resolve. Out he goes. Why? What reason do they have to? I mean, The elders led at his side. They said firmly, "You can't talk like this around here. You'll have to quit it or get out." With great sarcasm, Ed came back to them. "Now do tell, is that so?" He reached over to a bookshelf and took up a sheaf of papers. On top of them lay the foreword to the book, Alcoholics Anonymous. Then, under preparation, he read aloud, "The only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking." Relentlessly, Ed went on, "When you guys wrote that sentence, did you mean it or didn't you?" Now, I find it a little weird that they didn't know that. Right? It's important that we understand the traditions. It's very important, or we will not be one with the group. Ed not only stayed, he stayed sober. Month after month, the longer he kept dry, the louder he talked against God. The group was in anguish so deep that all fraternal charity had vanished. When, oh, when, groaned members to one another, will that guy get drunk? Quite a while later, Ed got a sales job, which took him out of town. At the end of a few days, the news came in. He had sent a telegram for money, and everybody knew what that meant. Then he got on the phone. In those days, we'd go anywhere for a 12-step job, no matter how unpromising. But this time, nobody stirred. Leave him alone. Let him try it by himself for once. Maybe he'll learn a lesson. About 2 weeks later, Ed stole by night into an AA member's house and, unknown by the family, went to bed. Nowadays, was he in Bill's meeting? I have no idea. I have no idea. Probably because he's the one writing about it. So I would assume so. All right. Now, if you would say you're eating breakfast and somebody you knew from AA came walking downstairs from one of your extra bedrooms, life was a little different back then, huh? So daylight found the master of the house and another friend drinking their morning coffee. A noise was heard on the stairs. To their consternation, Ed appeared. A quizzical smile on his lips, he said, "Have you fellows had your morning meditation?" They quickly sensed that he was quite in earnest. In fragments, his story came out. In a neighboring state, Ed holed up in a cheap hotel. After all his pleas for help had been rebuffed, these words rang in his fevered mind. "They have deserted me. I have been deserted by my own kind. This is the end. Nothing is left." After he tossed on his bed, his hand brushed the bureau nearby, touching a book. Opening the book, he read it. It was the Gideon Bible. Ed never confided any more what he saw and felt in that hotel room. It was the year 1938. He hasn't had a drink since. And why didn't they add on to that? And nobody's trying to kick him out of AA anymore. See, the guy just needed time to figure it out. He needed time to figure out his own higher power, man. And, well, what do we say? Stick around, wait for the miracle to happen. Well, now he understands that great speech that he gave about honesty and having his family back and everything else was the direct correlation to God working in his life. And then he suddenly realized that God was doing for him what he could not do for himself. And he got it. Now, if they kicked him out, you would have never found that. And probably would have went on to die an alcoholic death. Nowadays, when old-timers who knew Ed foregather, they exclaim, "What if we had actually succeeded in throwing Ed out for blasphemy? What would have happened to him and all the others he later helped?" See, his experience brings hope to other people, man. That experience brings hope to other people. So the hand of providence early gave us a sign that any alcoholic is a member of our society when they say so. Well, it's true. It's so true. All right, I get things set up. We have a meeting in 37 minutes for anybody that would like to join us. Grassroots meetings they're going great, man. And yeah, I mean, really well. I mean, I honestly, I feel like I'm back in the meetings when I was in AA in the 90s. You can feel the movement in the fucking room, and it's a Zoom meeting, and I'm still feeling it. It's pretty cool shit, man. Thank you, God, for letting us do that and getting us there. You're a pretty cool dude. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.